everybody. I am so glad that you are here joining us today. I am very, very excited to introduce our Warrior Wednesday recognition. We're going to hear a little bit from some sarcoidosis warriors and share their stories and learn a little bit more and connect. And I am so excited to have you here with me for this. I am Carrie. I am Carrie Wong. I am one of the founders of Stronger Than Sarcoidosis, and I am also a columnist at Sarcoidosis News. Just a quick little bit of me. I was diagnosed with sarcoidosis back in 2015 because after 8 years of trying to figure out what was going on with me. I'm sure there are a lot of other really long diagnosis stories out there. But at this point, it is affecting my lungs, my skin, my joints, my nerves, and I have all of that systemic stuff that just makes it extra fun. And of course, some comorbidities because sarcoidosis never comes by itself. It always seems to bring some friends along. But we've got some friends along the way too. And so again, as I said, I am one of the founders of Stronger Than Sarcoidosis. You're going to see here, there are 4 of us. Our president is Frank Rivera. I am vice president. We have our secretary, Kathleen Tirano, and our treasurer is Cheryl Bradford. Now, the 4 of us all met through the advocacy work that we've been doing about sarcoidosis. And we have become family and we just absolutely adore each other. But what we also noticed was there was something missing in terms of having an opportunity for us to connect with one another. We didn't have as much of that. We wanted to have a little bit more. And that's why we started Stronger Than Sarcoidosis. In fact, we started just a year ago. We are currently celebrating our anniversary in our Strongerversary, if you will. But we are here. I'll just, share our mission with you. Our mission is to raise awareness, to advocate, and to educate about this rare disease called sarcoidosis. We aim to strengthen the sarcoidosis community with information, support, connection, and interactive events that focus on the physical, mental, and emotional aspects of living with this disease. Stronger Than Sarcoidosis was created by sarcoidosis patients for sarcoidosis patients, and we will always be patient-centered. We aim to support the sarcoidosis community, ensuring that all sarcoidosis patients know they are not alone. Together, we are stronger than sarcoidosis. And again, we are so grateful to have you watching, and we are especially grateful to bring you our warrior for today. To know her is to love her. I have known her for several years, again, as we met as ambassadors with Foundation for Sarcoidosis Research. I know some of you saw her and completely fell for her in our first virtual forum that we did on social justice. She was one of our speakers there, and everybody was commenting afterwards how much you loved her. So for anyone who I would love to present to you, our warrior of the day is Chasta Posey. Everybody loves her. But for those of you who do not know her yet, you're about to love her. I'll tell you that much for sure. But Chasta is from Greenville, South Carolina, which you will know the second you hear her speak. She has taken her sarcoidosis experience and turned it to help other people living with it. So as you can see, she is currently a patient advocate, a patient navigator, and a peer mentor with the Foundation for Sarcoidosis Research. And she has recently been appointed to their brand new Women of Color Committee, which is such an important thing because, as we know, sarcoidosis, or perhaps some don't know, that sarcoidosis affects African Americans and even specifically African American women more than any other demographic here in the US. And so it is very important to have that representation. So we are very, very grateful to have her here. Chasta, again, thank you so much for being here. So why don't we just start out, getting right to it from the beginning? Why don't you share a little bit about your sarcoidosis story. How does sarcoidosis affect you?
Awesome. Thank you so much, Carrie, for having me. Stronger Than Sarcoidosis is literally at the top of my heart. I love each of you. Literally, y'all have no idea how much I love y'all. I try to tell you as much as possible, but y'all are really, really, really close to the top of my heart. So thank you so much for this platform, not only for me, but for other sarcoidosis patients. So a little bit about my story. Just imagine being one of those students sitting in your classroom ready to graduate high school, and some things started happening physically to you, and your body just begins to feel weird and awkward. You lay your head down on the desk for a little while to say, okay, I know I'm not supposed to be sleeping in class, but let me take a quick little nap. And you wake up in the health room. So at the age of 18, I'm sorry, 17, at the age of 17, graduating high school, and trying to figure out life. We didn't figure it out right then. I became very, very, very severely anemic. Things just started looking like, okay, well, she's not going to be able to go to college. She is going to be able to go to college. Like, let's try to figure this thing out. Could never get any answers. They did every test known to man. But it wasn't until they did the kidney biopsy during my Thanksgiving break in my freshman year of college that we figured out that I had sarcoidosis. So I was diagnosed at the age of 18. It was right before my 19th birthday when I was diagnosed. And it's just been a whirlwind from there. Like, it's been different because people have to understand that I was diagnosed as a child. And I'm trying to navigate life as an adult, and trying to just figure life out. Like, this is weird. It was weird to me. So, just trying to make it through college and having to quit college and then go back and quit. It wasn't until I found the foundation that I got a lot of the answers that I had been looking for. So, yeah, my story is a simple one. It's more relatable to a lot of other patients. You get diagnosed with something that you have no idea what it is, can barely pronounce it, definitely don't know how to spell it, but we're going to try to figure this thing out. So my story is relatable, but of course, every journey is different.
But that must have been so difficult. As you figure, for anybody, even regular, ordinary, healthy people, at that age, 17, 18 years old, they're trying to figure out what life is going to be, what their future holds, figure
Right.
out college, career, family, all of the above. And then for you to suddenly have whatever ideas you might have had kind of
Yeah.
happen.
Mm-hmm.
So can you tell us a little bit about, well, first off, what organs are involved? What parts of how does sarcoidosis affect you physically? We'll start.
Okay. So physically, I'm affected in every major organ in my body, including my bones, joints, and muscles, my eyes. The only thing, and I tell people that it's easiest to tell you what I'm not affected by than it is to tell you what I am affected by. So the only places that are clean and clear are my liver and my neural system.
Wow.
Yeah. That's a lot. So it's every place in my body is hurting. Even right now while we're doing this interview.
I definitely understand that. And that's something actually, to really note is that, well, for one thing, for people who don't have sarcoidosis,
Mm-hmm.
to understand that even when we're sitting here smiling, even when we're, getting active and advocating, even when we're smiling, presenting
Mm-hmm.
the world, we're still sitting here in pain. We're still sitting.
Oh yeah. My plan was to get glammed up, to get my face done and have on some lavish clothes. But listen, this is the raw, uncut Chasta that I feel like everybody needs to see, because I think we have this notion that because, we're strong, that we always have it together, and we don't. And I don't want anybody to get it twisted that we don't have down days, because people are so quick to say, well, you don't look sick, but you don't know how I feel. And so today's one of those days where the exhaustion kind of just set in. It set on me really, really hard. But I'm willing myself because I know I made a commitment. And that's what a lot of people don't know about a lot of patients, because we still deal with everyday life. We just have another added layer onto life with the sarcoidosis. And that layer is very, very thick, because sometimes sarcoidosis can predict how our day goes. If we wake up and we're not feeling our best, if we wake up and something's hurting or something's pushing, sometimes we have to lay back down. And if we have to lay back down on commitments that we made, now it throws off our whole entire day. So this is it. This is it. I don't have a stitch of makeup on. I know my lips probably look chapped, but this is who I am in the moment. And you're going to get this t-shirt. It's a purple t-shirt. I did do the purple and stuff like that. So this is who you get in the moment. It's not always peachy. Every day is not rainbows and glitter. Some days are storms and valleys, and we push ourselves so far beyond that. And sometimes we push ourselves a little too far. So what am I going to do when I get off this call? Go to bed. So, yeah.
Important to note that. And well, first off, let me say, even without makeup, even without glitter and rainbows, you are absolutely beautiful. And this is exactly the challenge we want to present to the world. Is this is who you are, as you are in the moment, and you are awesome.
Thank you.
And I will say the same. We've got the purple on. I've got the Stronger Than Sarcoidosis going.
I have no idea what this shirt says at all. So it's just purple. The base color is purple.
Power. And
Right.
so I would like to hear a little bit more about, you had said earlier, that when you were diagnosed, you didn't know anybody, and like most of us, we don't know the disease, we don't know anybody with it, but until you found the foundation. And so if you can tell us a little bit about how you found the Foundation for Sarcoidosis Research and how you went from just a patient getting information to all of the incredible roles that you have in being an ambassador, being an advocate, being a navigator.
So originally, when I was first diagnosed, I was diagnosed in my kidneys. So my nephrologist gave me this big, thick folder with all the information I needed about what sarcoidosis was. And he gave me a list of places where I could probably go and get some information, because at the same time, he was still learning also. So I found a particular foundation here in South Carolina, and I participated in a couple of events with them. Then I began to put my story out on social media. At that time, Yahoo chat rooms were popular, AOL chat rooms were popular. And so I joined a Yahoo chat room, and I met a young lady named Emma Carroll. So when I met Emma, she said, well, you need to come on and join some of our Facebook, stuff and everything like that. And she encouraged me to kind of put my story out on social media and everything like that. So I was a little afraid. I'm not going to tell you a lie. I was a little afraid because I was like, well, I don't want nobody knowing that, I got all this stuff going on and stuff like that. And she kind of encouraged me, and I did. And once I put the information out, that's when I came in contact with Trina. I came in contact with Frank, and everything like that. So we had a group of us, went Carl Delane, and we put together a group of 7 of us, 8 of us, 9, maybe 10, who knows? I can't remember. Back in 2005, and on Bernie Mac's birthday, 2015, sorry. On Bernie Mac's birthday, 2015, we went to DC and we had a congressional briefing, and FSR was there. FSR was there, and they were blown away by the work that we were able to do then. That's when they kicked off their ambassador program, and all of us decided to apply, and all of us made it in. We applied for the ambassador program, me, Frank, and Trina, and we've been close ever since. Like, it's just been one big happy family.
Absolutely. Definitely. I became an ambassador in the second year. So there were the OG ambassadors who came before me.
Yeah, it was 17 OGs. So all 17 OGs, and God rest his soul, Paul, was one of my favorite people. And all 17 of us are still kicking. We're kicking strong. A couple of us have kind of fallen off when they're not ambassadors or advocates anymore, but that's not stopping them from doing work. just because they're not advocates or ambassadors or anything like that. They are still working, they're still advocating in their respective places, and they are still getting the work done that needs to be done.
And that's something that is so important, I think, is getting that work done, and that work of getting our stories out there,
Right.
of reaching out and getting information out there so that other people, I mean, really for two main reasons. One is so that the people who are getting newly diagnosed, the people who are, saying, I just found out I have sarcoidosis.
Right.
Is nobody knows what I'm going through. We need to give them the opportunity to see that they are not alone, that there is somebody else.
Right.
We are here. But then also for those other people who don't
Right.
have it, to educate them.
Right.
And so tell us a little bit about what you do now, because you have so many roles. So you are a patient navigator. You are a peer mentor, I believe.
Yep.
So what would you say is, now, okay, I'm going to switch it around a little bit, because I know that we've all know, and we've all said how important it is for us to get our stories out there, so that other people can hear from us, so that other people can learn from us.
Mm-hmm.
What do you get out of it?
What I get out of being in all of these roles would be, I have the opportunity to use my voice for people who don't. There are a lot of people who are sitting back in the wings and who are sharing things with us that they don't have the platforms to do it. And it gives me the opportunity to say, well, hey, it ain't all about me. It's not. It's 500 other people in this particular place, or it's 1,000 other people over here who are dealing with the same thing that I'm dealing. Let me be the voice for them, because they may not at the time have the platform to stand on. So if they don't have the platform to stand on and they want to get their stories out, it's nothing to tell their story for them until they get to that place to where they have that platform. A lot of the times, when I'm doing things, I'm not doing them for me. I'm doing them for those people who can't be vocal, who can't use their voice, who don't know where to start with using their voice. So that's why I became the navigator. That's why I became the mentor. That's why, I became the advocate, because there are people who just don't know where to start. And if I can kind of kickstart and jumpstart some of those people and help propel them, because at the end of the day, we can't do it alone. We need help. We don't have multi-million-dollar people writing us checks and all this other kind of stuff, and sometimes we have to do the legwork ourselves. We have to do the legwork. We have to do the research. We have to do everything. We have to do the fundraising. We have to do it all, because people are not latching on the way we want them to. So, the thing that I get out of it, when I lay down at night, I at least want to help one person daily with their journey through sarcoidosis. If I can just help one person a day through their journey for sarcoidosis, I feel like I'm being productive.
That's a really, really wonderful goal to have, and I can tell you that you are definitely making a difference. So can you tell us about, I know that the Women of Color Committee is new, and you are in that inaugural group. So can you tell us a little bit about what is that and what will you be doing there?
I'm extremely excited about this group, because one of the facts and statistics about sarcoidosis is that it is commonly affected in women of African American descent. So that means a lot of women of color are affected more so than any other ethnicity around. So FSR decided to put together a committee of people for, basically, lack of better terms, for diversity and inclusion. Because one of the things that we found, and just listening to the stories of some of these amazing women, we have been affected because we, as women of color, have not been taken seriously from our healthcare providers. And so people have, a lot of healthcare providers have dropped the ball when it comes to women of color. And it's past time for this committee. We're excited about it. We are doing the work. When I say they have put us to work, honey, they have put us to work. And I'm excited because I get to share that platform with your treasurer, Cheryl Bradford. I get to share that platform with her, and she is just simply amazing. And the Women of Color Committee is going to be that committee that bridges the gap between African American sarcoidosis patients and their healthcare providers. So we're going to be creating content. We're going to be creating literature for women of color to give to their healthcare providers. We're going to be doing all of that, and in the name, of Foundation for Sarcoidosis Research. And I have a feeling, a positive feeling, that this is not only going to help the women, the African American women and the women of color who have sarcoidosis, but any other rare illness or any disease that people are dealing with. Because again, just because I have sarcoidosis and you may have lupus doesn't mean we can't help each other. So if this works for sarcoidosis, I'm more than certain it's going to work for those women who have lupus or a rare type of cancer or something like that. All rare diseases count and they matter, and we need to be that platform for, again, a lot of those people who don't have those voices.
Absolutely. And that is something that is so great. And, we do see how things do carry over. Even just to think of, everybody living in a COVID world now, and we know that COVID affects, people of color more. It affects people with, lesser incomes, that kind of thing. And, whenever there's that certain demographic, this group that is affected more, we see it becomes like multifactorial. It will affect you here and here and here.
Absolutely.
One kind of interplays and pushes the other. So it is really incredible to see that that you're starting this group, with this group starting to really focus on a demographic that has been affected too much and supported too little.
Right.
To be able to get there is really wonderful.
Right.
We will be able to be pervasive and help far beyond just women of color with sarcoidosis.
Right.
So really, really great work that you're doing.
Thank you.
I do. You're welcome. And so I do want to ask, is there anything else that you would like to share with our viewers? Anything that, perhaps I didn't get a chance to ask you about? Any message that you have for the people who are watching?
Again, I'm all about self-care awareness. I'm all about self-advocacy. A lot of people at the foundation, they'll tell you in a heartbeat, oh, she's an advocate for therapy. She's an advocate for self-care. I think Mindy said it during our summit. She was like, now, Chasta's going to tell you, you need to get a therapist. And I thought it was so funny because I'm all for people, taking care of themselves as much as possible. I was having a conversation with someone earlier today. I used to be one of those people who thought that the light at the end of the tunnel was my way out. And that's not always true. That's definitely not always true. And I'm a firm believer now that sometimes what we need and what we're looking for is inside of us the whole time. And the reason why therapy is so important, self-advocacy and self-awareness is so important is because we go through so much mentally that it begins to weigh us down and it dims our light. So if you can just kind of get all of that stuff off of you and let your light shine so bright, everything you need is right there inside of you. You don't have to wait until you travel to the end of the tunnel to get to where you need to go or get what you need out of life. The only thing you need to do is look inside yourself and realize that everything I need is right here. Search within yourself, go get it. It's in your possession. You got this. You got it.
I could listen to you. I could talk to you for hours and hours and hours. And our weekends at training where I was actually hang with you in person. But I will say again, thank you so much, Chasta, for joining us and for having this talk. For
Thank
any
you so much.
You are so welcome. For anybody who is watching, if you just can't get enough of Chasta, and I don't think anybody gets enough of Chasta, you can take a look. You can find her on Facebook at Chasta Posey or Chasta's Fight. You can find her on Instagram at Chasta_LaFaith or on Twitter at Chasta's Fight. And we are all certainly watching that fight with you, joining that fight with you, for you, for us, and together we are stronger. Together we are stronger than sarcoidosis and stronger than anything this world can throw at us. So again, for Stronger Than Sarcoidosis, I also want to share our social media, our contact info. If you have any questions, you can always email us info@strongerthansarcoidosis.org. You can find us on our website, strongerthansarcoidosis.org, and all of the social media everywhere. So again, I want to thank Chasta for this incredible talk. You are a warrior for sure.
You.
And I want to say stay tuned for more of our Strongerversary celebrations all month long. We will have more warriors to share. We've got some mental health Mondays. We've got our Warrior Wednesdays. We're going to have some self-care Sundays. We've got our next virtual forum is coming up, which is also going to feature, going to focus on diversity and disparities with sarcoidosis. And we're actually working on that with the Foundation of Sarcoidosis Research. So stay tuned for that and for all incredible, wonderful things. Again, thank you all so much for joining us. We are so grateful to have you, and we wish you all a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you so much.